So we're going to make a wild mushroom and white wine risotto. It's not vegetarian, but you can very easily make it vegetarian. Just a couple of things you need to do. Change the chicken stock that we're going to use to a veggie stock. Leave out the parmesan as well. If you want to make a vegan risotto, do the exact same thing. Take out the chicken stock, replace it with a veggie stock. Just double check with your white wine as well, because a lot of white wine is not vegan. And also leave out your parmesan from the end. It's not vegetarian, it's not vegan either. They use an enzyme to make the cheese. Follow the instructions, it's really simple to make. It should take you less than an hour, and you can freeze it, keep it for another day. It's brilliant food, really fresh, really tasty, and it's pretty simple if you've never made risotto. You will need 1.5 litres of chicken stock. Every stock varies, so I mean I need 3 capsules to make up my stock, but just check the instructions before you use it. So 1.5 litres of chicken stock. 350 grams of Arborio risotto rice. Mixed mushrooms, so we have closed cup button, oyster, shiitake and porcini mushrooms in there. 2 onions, finely chopped. 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, finely chopped. 75 gram knob of butter. 125 mils of dry white wine. 2 or 3 tablespoons of chopped parsley. 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And as much grated parmesan as you like. First things first, I'm making 1.5 litres of chicken stock. I've just used 3 stock cubes. I've just added 1.5 litres of water, and I'm just bringing that to the boil nice and slowly. So that's our stock ready then. I'm just going to leave that to the side. So for the purpose of the video, I'm going to use a wok just because it's quite large. I'm going to add that olive oil to the pan and just get that heat going. I'm just really roughly chopping our mushrooms here. I don't want to go too fine. I'm just going to chuck them into the pan with this hot oil. Just going to stir them in. And they're only going to be in this oil in this pan for a couple of minutes. The trick with these mushrooms is just to soften them up. You don't want to cook them to death. You only need about 2 minutes in the pan with the oil. You'll see they start to shrivel up and get quite a little bit smaller. As soon as that happens, take them off the heat, straight into a bowl, and just keep them to a side. Okay, so in that same pan that you've just taken the mushrooms out of, put your onions and your garlic. Again, just give them a good stir up. They just want a couple of minutes in there as well, just to soften up. The onions have been in now for about 2 minutes, and they've just started to go slightly more translucent. At this stage, we're going to add our rice, all of it straight in there. After a couple of minutes, that's all it needs. It'll start to take on a little bit of a light brown tinge, and it'll all start to open up a little bit. When that happens, get your wine in there, and then you just want to leave that. Give it all a mix in first, but just leave that until all that wine's absorbed into the Arborio rice. Again, that won't take long, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, just to absorb all that wine into the rice. Right, once that wine has been absorbed, and definitely not before, you take yourself a cup or a ladle or whatever. You just want to add about 100 to 125 mils of this stock at a time. So you want to keep repeating the process. Every time your Arborio rice absorbs all that stock, just keep adding a bit more, 100 to 125 mils each time, until you've used all your stock up. So there's no need to stir it constantly, just give it a bit of movement every minute or so. The whole process will take about 20 minutes to give you this nice al dente risotto. That's how they serve it in restaurants. Personally, I prefer mine a little softer, so keep going. If you need to add a little more stock, add a little more stock, but I think 1.5 litres, which is what we've started with in the recipe, should be perfect for you. And I'll show you what we're going to do now it's finished. So as you can see, the majority of our liquid has been absorbed by our rice. I'm also going to add our knob of butter. Just give that a good stir until it's all melted. I'm going to add in our mushrooms, and then finally I'm going to add all that chopped parsley. Don't add this too early in your dish, otherwise it loses all of its colour. You can see it's really starting to come together nicely now. So we're just going to leave that for another 5 minutes. Turn the heat down to quite low. You just want it simmering away like it is here nicely. It's going to get rid of the majority of the rest of that liquid on there, and then we're ready to serve. Lovely and creamy with that butter. So I'm going to spoon it into a bowl, add a little bit of salt and pepper to taste, parmesan on top. Bob's your uncle.